Oops. Started.
Really? Makeup?
Right. Okay. It's going.
It's going?
Yep, it's
we're
going.
live? Oh, we're a minute early.
Are we?
We got to kill time.
Well, let's kill time.
Kill time.
It's going. I think it's going. See if it's going.
Hold on one second.
thing.
Let me refresh. Hello,
Oh, Matan's watching.
Legion
It's
M.
going.
All right, Matan. Hello, Matan. How's it going?
Hey, everybody. All right.
We are live. Oh, yep. There
Are
we
we
are.
early?
We are live.
Wait, what's that? That's
We
not
are
it.
early. No, that's just that's camera 2.
All right.
All right.
Look, I'm not even there.
There
oh,
you
there
are.
I am.
All right,
Oh,
pause
wow,
there.
I joined.
Looking
Look
good.
at that.
I
Got
gotta
my
say,
Colossal shirt on.
I'm not wearing
Yeah.
any Legion M gear,
What's your problem?
which is rare.
What is your major malfunction?
That's true. So, hey, all right. Well,
There we
welcome.
are.
Okay, it is now
All right.
1 o'clock. We can start.
Bam! Let's do this. Hey, everybody.
So, we're a little daunted coming into this because we just read the event description
Yeah.
that
Epic
said that
proportions.
there is a.
We should turn this
Oh,
down.
thanks. Yeah, that there is a announcement of epic proportions, and I'm not
Come
quite
up
sure.
with something epic.
I know we
quick.
got to. Yeah,
Come
quick.
up. I got
Yeah,
one.
really quick. Oh, hey.
Round 3. Ladies and gentlemen, round 3 is open.
Is off. We are
Yep.
off to the races. I don't
We're
know.
off.
For those of you guys who weren't here, a little bit. I guess this was March.
Memorabilia.
Over a year ago. Yeah,
Yep.
this is a little piece of Legion of history. This was our opening bell that we rang. You know, we figured like a stock exchange has an opening
Yeah.
bell, and when we opened
This is
our
our
new
bell.
round, we wanted.
This will go in the Legion M Museum someday.
That's right, and it was very fitting. We thought that
Yep.
it was a cowbell,
Yeah.
and actually a really cool cowbell. Do you know?
It's beautiful.
I don't know if you even know this. I don't know if they're still made like this, but the company that originated these
Yep.
made them from the brass shell casings, like back in the days of World War One.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and
Really?
so it was actually,
Wow.
yeah.
So that's
like I said, I don't know if this
munitions.
is made out of shell casings or not, but it was kind of cool.
Just go with it. I like it that it's made out of shell cases
Yes,
from
It-
World War One.
it is a bell of epic proportions.
Yep,
I
and
would
it's
say.
also an antique and everything else. And so periodically, we're just gonna ring it randomly, just to keep
because it's
everyone
not
awake
annoying.
and make sure
it's
that
not
you're
annoying
all
at
paying
all.
attention.
It's not loud.
But we are excited. I mean, the round opened up, and it's faster pace than we've ever had. I mean,
Yeah.
considering we didn't even make it public, and we had over $300,000 before.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
we are off like a rocket. I got to
Yep.
tell you, we this is what we've been working on for a long time because there
Yeah.
was a lot leading up to this. Like we had to do our audit because we have our audited
To say the
2017
Yeah.
financial statements.
Yeah.
All the preparation of the SEC disclosures and all of the navigating, all that sort of stuff.
All
But-
the SEC stuff is so fun.
But, like Paul said, we are off better than we ever have before. So to give
Yep.
you context, when we opened up our Reg A, so that was round 2, we did about, I think, $150,000 in the first day.
Yep.
And so we did twice
was
as
good.
much. Yeah, no,
Back
that
then,
was
that
great
was
because
good,
that was
yeah.
actually probably about double what we had done before.
Yeah.
On the first, so this time we did about over 300 grand in the first 24 hours.
And that's without opening it to the public.
Yeah, just to the
On a
Legion
hidden
M
profile.
yeah, on a hidden profile on WeFunder.
Yeah.
And even more importantly, we've got I think over 700 investors so far.
Yeah, which
And
is huge.
whereas last time it was 175. And
Yeah.
so for us, everybody that's doubling down,
It's almost
like
4x.
it is such an honor and
Yeah.
we're humbled by that vote of confidence. And
Yeah.
for those of you that are brand new to this, that's even better.
Even better. Yep.
We want our strength comes from our size, and so we're
wanna keep
always
growing.
trying to find
Yeah.
ways to grow and reach new people. So thank you
Yeah.
guys for
Yeah, thank you to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, existing investors, amazing. We appreciate all your support, but also I think, welcome to the new investors. Anyone
That's
that
right.
made a reservation and, is in now or maybe just learned about it and came in, welcome. We're more bullish than ever and more, I guess, eager to grow,
Yes.
to just make it happen. Our whole philosophy of we believe a entertainment company should be owned by fans, I feel like it just keeps getting reinforced.
Yeah.
Every article you read, every time you hear about something, every meeting we have, it's just being galvanized every day.
We are also older than we've ever been before.
Yes.
Because of
well,
this
you
company.
and I are.
Yeah, well, and frankly, everybody.
Yeah, everyone is.
But I think
It's really
what's
profound.
Well, it is. Well, let me get to the profound part, right? So, 2 years. We haven't even introduced this yet.
I know, but I had to use it.
2 years ago, when we launched the very first equity crowdfunding campaign in history. Like, not everybody knows that, but we were literally the very first company in history to take advantage of the Jobs Act. And back when we did it, it was just an idea. And we said, we think that we can do this, this, and this. And I think now that we're 2 years older and we've got that many miles under the wheels and that sort of stuff, like, we have unequivocally proven parts of our business model. Yeah. So we're not done yet. We're still, I wouldn't say top of the first inning. I think we might be in the second inning now.
Bottom of the first inning.
But it's
top
still
of the second inning.
It's still very early days.
Yeah.
But like Paul said, like, every data point, all the evidence, everything so far is pointing to the fact that we collectively are onto something really big and really powerful.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I think if we had promised everything that we've done in the last 2 hours, or last 2 years, last 2 hours, we've also been productive. But over the last 2 years, when we started, we said, look, in the next 2 years, this is what we plan to do. I think we probably would have felt like, there's no way we would accomplish that. Like, that's just like, to have Colossal and Mandy and Pitch Elevator and Field Guide and
the Stanley celebration
and Sundance and Cannes and all this stuff. I mean, it's remarkable. And I think the reason it's remarkable is because it's the power of what happens when you unite fans together. I mean, it's like every day I think we're proving more and more how incredibly powerful that is. And so we're excited. I mean, we're 2 years in, but we're feeling like, more bullish than ever, but there's a long way to go. And we got to keep on building. So
this is how you do it. It doesn't happen overnight.
This is the startup grind. Welcome to the startup grind.
Brick by brick. So okay, so just so everybody knows, like, if you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. We're here to answer questions. We got a couple things that we want to talk about, some topics. One thing, just so everybody knows, is that the SEC actually has very stringent restrictions on what we're allowed to say and not say about this round.
They sent us this button.
So we wrote away for the SEC censor kit. So let's see if it works, Paul. Why don't you... hey, Paul, what is the price of the shares in the new round?
Oh, well, the share price is... There
Paul,
it is.
Paul, how much space is there in the round? What's the limit? How much are you guys planning to raise?
Well, we're about to raise... Okay. Did it work? Hopefully you're watching out there. We didn't violate any rules.
Any SEC rules. No, it's actually funny.
You need to go to WeFunder to find out.
So the way that Regulation CF is set up is it's a very specific provision of the Jobs Act. And the whole idea behind it is they want to make sure there's one place, which is the funding portal, where the important information is being disseminated. So we're not off here saying something to some group of people and something else to somebody else.
So all potential investors have access to the same
Which makes perfect sense.
It does.
However, when they wrote the law, and this isn't the SEC's fault at all, this is Congress.
You don't want to
when they wrote the law,
Jeff.
They're modifying laws that are written in the 30s. And some of these laws don't contemplate the internet.
Facebook, for example.
And this idea that everything can be connected. And so to make a long story short, when we do a video like this and we want to talk about our new round, we can do one of two things. We can either talk about everything except how much money we're raising, what the share price is, what the end date is, and whether it's stock versus debt, right? Everything is on limits except for that. Or we can talk only about those 4 things and
Right,
nothing else. And so
that would be kind of boring.
We flipped a coin before the podcast or before this
live update.
Yeah, and decided that we're going to talk about everything but that. So if you
But
ask about those 4 questions,
you'll get the beep.
Yes.
But all that information is on the WeFunder, on our profile.
Yeah, go to the WeFunder
and
profile.
And the Form C. And we can answer those questions if people inquire.
Yes.
But one thing that we did notice in that we wanted to,
I'm actually really
we wanted to
enjoy this.
Have a discussion about, because one of the things that since we've started the company, I mean, I think we've not only have we proven that this has value and that we can do things, but I think there are a couple things that have pleasantly surprised us, and this goes to. There have been a lot of questions about the business model and how this makes sense. How are we spending our money and how are we investing it? And one thing that we wanted to share is if you look at our Bad Samaritan investment, you look at our Colossal investment, some of the investments that we're making in those projects, we call them a P&A investment. One of the reasons why we like a P&A investment, I mean, there are a lot of other reasons, but from a business model standpoint, those investments allow us to do 2 things at once. So we want to grow our Legion. We want to expand. We want the word to get out there. We want to, invite people to join our community. What we've found and what we've experienced is that it's better to do that in the context of a project that we're promoting than if we're just out talking about Legion M. The added benefit of doing it that way is we also get credited when we're spending that money as an investment in the film. So this is something that I think is really important to understand. So if we didn't have those projects, we'd be spending money on marketing, right? Because we need to grow and we need to get the word out there. We go to cons, we do all these things. We might buy some ads in Facebook. We'd be spending money to grow the Legion, which we know has value to us. So it's smart money to spend. The nice thing with the P&A investment is we're making an investment into a project that gets us all those benefits. So we're getting 2 birds with 1 stone, right? Because when we make that investment, we're growing the Legion, we're inviting people to come join our community and to support this project. But the nice thing is when we keep track of our investments and the money that we're spent, that marketing dollars, but then that gets credited as an investment, which means that we should get that investment back. Plus, if the project does well, we'll make money on it.
On top of that.
So it's kind of a nice scenario. This is why we want to do more of those projects, and we also want to increase the amount of money that we're investing in those projects. So, instead of spending $100,000 or $200,000, we could spend $1 million marketing Legion M in the context of a film, get that $1 million back plus the return on investment if we made a smart investment, and then invest it again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's that's a beautiful model. Yeah. But it's very early days, but this is what we're kind of aligning around.
Yeah. No, I think that's really smart, and it's funny because a lot of people will make assumptions about kind of how our business model works. And so they'll say, "Oh, wow, this movie didn't do well. You guys must have lost money. You guys look." And again, a lot of times, what we're doing right now is really it's a complete no-brainer. When you look at it, because the P&A investments, we talk about equity investments versus P&A investments.
Yeah.
And so Colossal and Bad Samaritan are examples of P&A investments.
Yeah.
Mandy is a little bit more of
Field
an equity
Guide.
investment.
Yeah.
Field Guide is definitely an equity investment.
Yeah.
On the P&A investments, those tend to be last money in, first money out sort of arrangements. And so what that means is that you tend to have a much lower kind of return on it, right?
Upside,
you're not going to get
potential.
Yeah. You're not necessarily going to be able to make massive amounts of money the same way that if you own the IP for something and that becomes a hit, you can make a fortune. You're not going to make a fortune on one project in P&A investing. However, it's very safe because what happens is you're the last person to put money in after all the other people have and after you've been able to see anything, and there's kind of the least amount of risk. And then when it gets money back, you're the first person that gets to take it out.
Yeah.
And so, even if a film doesn't do well, right, you can still, as the P&A investor,
as long as it had some revenue.
As the P&A investor, you can still be whole. And so, when you couple that with like what Paul was saying, that right now for us, every one of these projects is like a strategic step. It's an opportunity for us to put together meetups around the country and to, promote Legion M and get the word out there. It's just, it's an absolute no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
We're looking to do more and more and more of that.
The other benefit to it is that it tends to be a faster turnaround on the investment. So because as Jeff mentioned, you're the last money in, you're the first money out. Like you're making your investment, like when you make an equity investment, you got to wait the whole time during production and all the way through the distribution and the festivals and all that before the project starts returning an investment. And we're making those investments, just to be clear. Like we're not doing all or around one thing. We want to be diversified. But one thing we really like, and we'll always have some of these projects where we can make that investment, make it, have it as a marketing fund for the project, but also get that money back and then repurpose it again into more projects.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like a no-brainer. Anyway,
Exactly.
So that's just, maybe in future live updates, we'll talk about other components of the business model, but I know that since we're raising capital, there's been a lot of questions, and we just want to assure everyone that there's a method to our madness.
Most of the time.
Not
always.
But we do we do take it seriously. And we are not only do we believe in the power of the community, we also believe in the power of kind of, engineering this business model in such a way that it's, it can reduce our downside risk and also increase our chances of success.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right, so there it is.
So, okay.
P&A Investing 101.
101. Yeah, and actually, I'd love to at some point do like a series of blog posts that kind of walks through some of the models. If anybody's interested, if you look at the Form C, it's actually kind of buried on the WeFunder website, but you can go to the Legion M Investor Relations page.
Yeah, there's a little bit of information.
We're actually trying to, I'm trying to upload it. The profile thing wasn't working this morning so that it's more accessible, but there's a wealth of information there about our business plan and about how it works and about our financial results. Like we said, we had an auditor go through the company with a fine-tooth comb.
Super fun. It was super fun.
I tell people it's like a colonoscopy. I'm glad that somebody went through it with a fine-tooth comb and left no stone unturned, and I think that it's healthy for the business.
Absolutely.
It's just, it's not comfortable when you're going through it, because
some of the mind-numbing things though are just that, the amount of money we spend with accountants and auditors and legal, reviewing something that it might be $100 worth of something, and it's
that's
wow,
the frustrating.
Did that just cost us $1,000
where you're
to
literally
figure out which category this $100 expense goes in? But anyway, that's just because we're small and we're growing. So
yes. So all right,
what else we got on the list?
So let's talk about Mandy real quick.
Holy
we had
smokes.
a great update on Mandy.
Jeez.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, so how about this? Should we reenact it? Because do we have 4 minutes? We can stand and clap. All right, here it is. I'm in Cannes, France right now.
I'm French. I love movies.
Movies. Mandy is a very, very good movie.
Mandy is very good.
Wait, I love French people. And I love that Mandy did so well. All right, I'll be Panos trying to talk over the standing ovation. 4 minutes of standing ovation at Cannes Film Festival. What?
I know.
Seriously?
It's crazy.
Okay, this is one of those moments. 2 years ago, if we said, oh, you know what, I bet one of our investments will go to Sundance, come out of Sundance as one of the top reviewed films, and it'll go to Cannes and get a 4 minute standing ovation, and it'll be a really, really original idea.
It'll be 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, people would be like, yeah, whatever, guys. That's one of our films. We made an investment in that film. It's killing it.
Yes.
I can't wait for the world to experience it, because it's just one of those things that is just
I can't wait
gonna be
for the portion of the world that is ready to experience it.
Come on. If they loved it in France, they're going to love it everywhere. But 4 minutes, congratulations to Panos.
Congratulations. Honestly, it's been so exciting, because we invested in this movie back before it was even accepted into Sundance.
Yeah.
And you know,
we had no idea.
Panos is a second-time director.
Yep.
And what we loved about this movie was his visuals. And like if you go back and watch his first movie, the only one that you can watch, which I'll be perfectly
Beyond
blunt,
the Black Rainbow.
I'm not a fan of that movie. Like it's like visually,
well,
it's stunning,
hard to watch,
but it's really slow. Yeah. Anyway, but we were investing.
Jeez,
we're like,
you don't need to trash it.
No, I'm not trashing it. I'm just being honest. I kind of what our thought was, wow, if you could match that kind of, like visionary sort of artistry with something that actually has a story
and action,
and like you could have something special. And I think that we've got something special. So
and the Johan soundtrack and partnering with Elijah and the Spectrovision team. And there's so many things to like about it. And remember, this is the first project in our Legion Midnight slate. Yes. So it's again, it's not for all audiences, but for the ones that.
For those of you who dare.
For those who dare, you will be blown away.
Yes.
I mean, blown away. It's a masterpiece. And, and Panos was, he was celebrated at Cannes in the director's fortnight. A lot of people are calling him the next Stanley Kubrick. So, imagine Legion M, a fan-owned entertainment company, is working with a director that could ultimately become a Stanley Kubrick. This is what we want to do.
Nacho, and we've got Panos. Like we're in a
and Dean Devlin. We're not
messing around. Slumming around.
Still Guide to Evil has some amazing people in it. Involved in it. So we're excited. But Mandy, I almost want to double down on that right now. Yeah. It's an exciting project.
So we have a note from our producer. It's pronounced Can.
Oh, Cannes.
Yes.
What are we saying?
I think we might have said Con. It's Cannes.
Whatever.
Yeah, Comic Con Cannes Film Festival.
Cannes Film Festival.
So
I don't know.
Sorry, Damien.
Here,
Damien.
My sister's half French. All right.
Is she really?
No, she teaches French.
Oh, okay.
Let's ask her. She's a French teacher. She's actually not French at all.
Okay.
But she teaches French. And,
that's cool.
She's probably more French than a lot of French people.
I think that's exactly. I think that's fantastic.
All right.
Well, so let's see if we've got any questions here. Adam Cox wants to know, what is the final day for this round? Go ahead, Paul. Why don't you ask?
So the final day will be on...
What we can tell you is this, Adam. The round, we don't expect it to be open long. Our previous two rounds were open for months, and we expect this one to be open for a few weeks.
Yeah.
We can say that. We can also say that if we hit the million, that we'll be cutting it off at that point, with the possible exception of reservation holders. If you made a reservation, it's going to pay off because you've got you'll be able to get in. If we end up over, we're already trying to make arrangements, for that. And again, nothing that we can talk about at this time. But honestly, I would say like a couple weeks is the time frame.
Well, one thing that I would say is like if you are aware of friends or people that have expressed an interest, now would be a good time to let them know. Not in a cheesy way, like, oh, hey, invest in our company, blah blah blah, but in a there's a limited availability in this, and so we want our community to know that, ahead of time that we do expect this round will probably sell out. And so if you have, people that have expressed an interest, now would be a good time to let them know. Because as soon as it sells out, like Jeff said, that'll be it.
Yeah. And the rule of thumb that we would use, because again, like a lot of people are really enthusiastic and they want to get the word out there, and we think that that's wonderful. And like we always say, like growing the Legion is our number one priority. This is the line that I would draw. You can tell me if you agree.
Yep.
You should never be trying to convince somebody to invest,
no.
Right? That's a very personal decision.
Yep.
Like people may not want to invest for whatever reason, and that's fine.
Yep.
You can always join. They can always join as a free member.
Yep.
You shouldn't feel like you're trying to sell somebody, or anything like that. I think the best way to do it is just let them know that it's available. Like I actually have people complain to me. It's like, why didn't you tell me that your company was raising money?
No, I know. It's a fine line. I feel the same way. Like people are like, "Oh man, I would have invested. Why didn't you tell me?" I'm like, "Well, I did." I posted it on Facebook. I'm not like calling everyone like, "Hey," but yeah, I think be appropriate. Like, we always want to be appropriate. This
Yes.
isn't like, something where we want to, like, everybody out there, hitting the streets. And, we want people to be proud of Legion M. And and that's why we allow people to join for free, because it's much easier to tell someone about it and say, you know what?
Yeah.
I think you might be interested in it, but you don't need to invest. Like, just join for free and check it out and see if you like it.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. If you want to be a part of something that gets 4-minute standing ovations at Cannes or Cannes or some film festival in France.
I got a 4-minute standing ovation in the Cannes the other day. It was actually
in the Cannes.
pretty remarkable. So,
that's weird. All right.
Did I just make it weird?
More questions.
All right, Earl Hayes, please let people know if they are military veterans, first responders, to join the Legion M Military Vets Group. Earl Hayes,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Lee Bird has created a special
DJ
Facebook group for his, and I think that's.
I think we have a decent number
wonderful.
of people in the Legion that are, military. And
yeah,
I think that's a great idea. Thank you, DJ Lee Bird or Earl Hayes.
All right. Oh, here we go up here. Okay. Okay. So this is interesting. Lisa Susan wants to know what happened to the 198K sponsors who did not pay for the Stanley event.
Yeah.
So first of all, kudos, Lisa, for reading the offering document. You did your homework.
You get a gold star.
Yes, absolutely. So for those of you that aren't familiar, we had good revenue last year. Like, we had decent revenue for a company of our size.
Well, and especially considering that a lot of the projects we're investing in haven't started producing revenue. So that was really only 2 projects.
Yeah, that was really only 2 projects from last year. However, the downside was that one of the sponsors, and then there's a related kind of sponsor, it turned out to be, I don't want to say like a deadbeat.
We're not shaming them yet, but we will soon. They keep telling us that they're going to pay us, and we're being patient with them to a certain degree. We have, we're doing all the legal work as well to just make sure that we're prepared for it and that they know that we're serious about collecting. We did fulfill on it, and there's no argument there. They are appreciative of what they got. They just didn't have the money, it turns out, and they're trying to raise it and get it. So I don't know.
So
it's a tricky situation.
It's extraordinarily frustrating for us because we work so hard, and all that stuff went so well, and it's just like it sucks, frankly, that that these guys didn't come through.
Yeah.
Like Paul said, they are still engaged. They're not disputing anything. We're continuing to do everything. As far as our finances go, we went ahead and made a determination that, we went ahead and wrote it off as bad debt.
It's more conservative to do it that way.
Yeah, and there's a note in there that explains it to anybody. And so for us, now it's kind of like upside. Like, we don't want people investing and going, oh, well, wait a second, what happened to that money? Like, we'd rather be more conservative and, over deliver if that.
And when that money comes in, it'll be nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the update. And like I said, like Paul said, when it comes time to shame them publicly,
we will.
Yeah.
We'll ask your help.
Yeah, that is something we're going to want you to tell your friends.
We got a couple of people out there that can help us do some collection, I'm sure.
Okay, Earl Hayes, again, when do we find out who gets the social media position? That is a great question. It's embarrassing, forankly, how long it's taken us to respond. We are overwhelmed with demand, hundreds and hundreds of resumes.
Yeah,
and
400 or something.
Yeah,
400
and
resumes.
everything just kind of hit at the same time with Bad Samaritan and with the new round and the audit. And so that was something that we had to table.
Yeah.
No updates other than the fact it is something that's pressing on us. We definitely want to resolve, and so we hope to get to that soon.
Yep. We need a plan.
Okay, so Adam Cox, am I understanding correctly? If I have a reservation already made, an investment, I can still make an additional investment if it is over the $1 million. Yes.
Yeah.
So what we promised reservation holders was that even if the round was otherwise sold out, you would have a finite amount of time during which you can still invest. And it didn't matter how much your reservation was for. If you put it down for 100 or 500, like, we wanted an estimate for planning purposes. Yep. But every reservation is good for up to $10,000, which should be acceptable for most folks. And so, anyway, so that's the way that it works. Now, where it starts to get tricky is we are limited by the SEC. Like, we cannot go over the maximum of that is listed on the WeFunder site. Like, we can't get, $1 over that amount. We can only raise what we can raise. And so, like I said earlier, we do have kind of a plan for how we will manage that. And we also want to stick with our no fan left behind, but we made a commitment to our reservation holders. And so you will have a chance to invest at the terms. And we'll make that happen. Do you concur?
I concur.
Okay. Some guy named Rob asks, how do I go about sharing this great news with my local press? Also, what if I have a family member or friend who works in the media? What a great question, Rob. I'm so glad you asked.
You are one clever guy. Well, we have something called The Hive. And if you haven't heard about it, we'll post a link in here. But we have a press release going out, or went out this morning, about the new round. And we'd love anyone's help sharing it. And if you want to join the Hive, then our PR team will work directly with you and give you copy and suggestions on how to help get it out and distribute it to your own network. But yeah, we want our news. One of the things that we believe in is the power of the community is more than just going to see films. It can be, helping us get the news out there. So I know that there are a lot of people signed up for the Hive. So
yes,
that's a great question, Rob.
Thank you, Rob, for that completely unplanned question.
Yes. Did you plan that?
No, I didn't plan to.
It's a plan. Just full disclosure,
Rob is our publicist.
Rob is our PR guy.
He runs the Hive.
We just sold him up. We just threw him under the bus.
No, Rob is fantastic.
Yeah,
and
but it's a good idea.
Earning
Rob,
his money today.
Thank you for reminding us to bring up the Hive. Yes.
Okay, so we got two more quick questions. We're already at 1:30, and I think we should go. Time flies when you're having fun. So
it's all that buzzing we did.
So, you, Kaylin, wants to know, when will we know what we're doing for San Diego Comic-Con?
Oh, that's a really good question. So, I don't know. I would say probably by maybe the end of this week, early next week, we should be able to announce. We have some big plans in the works, but we don't want to announce it and then, because we haven't signed a contract yet, but we've got a deal going back and forth, and we're pretty excited about it. So I'll just tease it with that. But I think, as we mentioned before, if you're planning to go to, or if you have a desire to go to San Diego Comic-Con, go. Because we're definitely going to be there when
we will be there. And even if we don't end up doing anything, we will hang out in the hotel room and we'll play Settlers of Catan all weekend long.
Exactly.
And do whatever. So come on out and hang.
And there's a good chance that we'll have a pretty fun, worthwhile thing to go to.
Yeah. All right, so then the last question from Michelle Carter: any opportunities for new potential sponsors?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That is actually a really good question.
Yes.
That was not a planted question, but it should have been a planted question.
I would say there are two opportunities. One, this to be named Comic-Con opportunity, and then also Pitch Elevator.
Yeah.
Which may coincide with what we're doing at Comic-Con. May or may not. We'll see.
We've got that's one of the other kind of the next cars on the train. Is that the right analogy?
Perhaps. Works for me. I don't even know what you're talking about.
The next duckling in the row that's crossing the road, right, is Pitch Elevator. So we're really committed.
That's right up there with the social media person
to finishing that one up.
Something we need to do.
And I got to tell you, we're actually super excited about Pitch Elevator. Not just this current round, but we're really trying to figure out a way that we can double down or triple down or quadruple around. We want to take that Pitch Elevator on the road.
Such a perfect project for us, and it's really something that it just needs. We need to just will it to happen.
Will it?
We will make it happen. Yes.
Are you suggesting it's a lack of will?
Potentially. No, I think it's
if
just
your
been
name is
Will,
please join us. We need you, Will.
Yeah.
No, we actually have.
We get a lot of good feedback on
one of our investors. Joseph, was talking to us about building our next generation. In our dream, we would literally,
Joe, if you're watching, don't worry. Jeff's going to come up with some crazy idea.
We would
the great class elevator.
We would get a bus right? And everybody in Legion M would just hop on the bus, and we would drive around the country from con to con with
the
a
elevator.
pitch elevator as the trailer.
And a TV crew.
And a TV crew.
Making a show.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
That's our dream. Jeff's going to be driving the bus.
That's right.
I'll be your co-pilot.
I've always wanted to drive a bus.
I'll be the map guy.
All right. We have clearly hit the point of diminishing returns here.
Are there any more important questions?
No. That is all the questions we have. And
thank you to all those that
Thank you, guys.
And thank you to everyone for tuning in. Thank you for your support on opening the new round. And let's keep moving this forward.
Onward and upward.
Onward and upward.
Talk to you later.
See you guys.